Okay, my friends, we are live. I hope that the sound is coming out all right. Hello to everyone on replay who will see this instantly, but of course, my live viewers take a little bit of time to build up. So, when anybody comes on, you'll find me repeating myself and saying, "Can you hear me all right?" I seem to have plenty of signal, so hopefully they'll join in. In the meantime, I'll just get started with my replay audience. There we are. So, the title of this, Ask Karl G, episode 61, Confidence Basics 4.20. Apparently, when you do a new improved version of something, you've got to call it something .20. So this is called Rider Confidence Basics 4.20, because I'm going back to point 4 because it wasn't very good. It wasn't very good. Let's recap on the rider confidence basics. The first basic. Oh, I've forgotten. What was the first basic? I'm going to have to go down my own basics there. The third basic was enjoy your horse. The second basic was not to let other people change your risk perception. Oh, of course, that was the first basic. Your risk perception. Focus on your risk perception and your confidence will look after itself. There we are. Easy basics. 1, 2 and 3. Perception, other people's perception, and 3 was enjoy the level that you're at. Super good. Didn't require anything from my audience. Then I came to the first actual part, which required some audience participation. Yes, those two words that are the absolute fear of any presenter's lexicon. Audience participation. And the audience participation was the very first thing. What's your why? Focus your why. Why are we riding horses in the first place? If you know why you are riding horses in the first place, then we can have that end goal and we can break down in bite sizes to that. If you don't know why you're riding horses in the first place, then it's going to be that much more difficult to get past the anxieties and the nerves, because quite honestly, you don't know why you're doing it. It's the difference between rowing the Atlantic to New York and rowing the Atlantic away from Penzance. If you row the Atlantic away from Penzance, God knows where you're going to end up. You need to be going to where you're going. So I've had 2 posts asking, what's your why? So the first post was a broadcast like this, a live broadcast, and I was explaining that we need to, first step, if you want to be confident on horses, first step, what's your why? And then I'm trying to find a nice way to say, I wasn't particularly impressed by the answers. So that's cruel, isn't it? That's cruel, isn't it? When you criticise someone, you're supposed to give them a shit sandwich, which is a compliment, and a criticism, then a compliment. Can't bother with that. But I did blame the teacher. I thought, hello, not a very good instructor there. I'm asking what's your why, I'm getting funny answers. So I thought about it and I thought, right, okay, I'm going to do a second post to really identify what's your why. If I had a magic wand and could bing, solve all of your confidence issues, just make your confidence disappear, what would you then do? I thought that was a good question. And I got a lot of answers. Thank you very much for participating. And it's made me see that we need to work on our whys a lot. So here we are. Here's my why. I want to ride horses with enough confidence that I am not sitting on the horse trembling, singing the lead song from Frozen. I want to ride horses free from the fear that tarantulas will fall down from the trees, land on my nice shiny riding hat, slide down, try and get a purchase, and they'll just get hold of my chin strap and they'll just crawl up into my mouth. I want to be free of that fear. I want to ride horses so confidently that when the horse spooks, I don't have a bout of explosive diarrhea in my lovely white jodhpurs whilst I'm doing rising trot. I'm going to stop there. I think that is quite enough mental imagery. If you want more mental imagery, then you'll have to go somewhere else. But that was horrible. Sorry about that, everybody. That was horrible. But these are the replies that we're getting. Fact is, your brain isn't programmed to think of pictures that it doesn't want. I've given you some lovely images there. All I can do is apologise most sincerely that I gave you those images. But if that's my reply, I'm going to give you a magic wand and get rid of all your confidence issues, and I just want you to tell me what you would do in that circumstance. And the responses I got had lots of without, and then some negative imagery. Now, you can't say that the negative imagery that I just supplied there was in any way a positive post. Do you see what I mean? The imagery came anyway, and if I had a magic wand, ping, suddenly I'd have very not white jodhpurs. I'd have arachnophobia, because that's the way that magic works. We all know the story, the fairy stories where King Midas wishes for something, and then it turns out that everything he touches turns to gold, and he can't eat his chicken pot noodle or anything else for that matter, because everything's turned into gold. Lots of stories about how magic would trip you up if you got your heart's desire without thinking it through, a little bit like that scene in Ghostbusters where the guy thinks of the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. But this is how it works. And we have got a magic wand. It is our own imaginations, our desires, the things that are going to pull us forward, the idea of rowing to New York because we want to go to New York and get all the lovely press coverage and everyone going, we want you, great. This is what pulls us forward. And if we're going to take our magic wand and supply it with negative images. Now, it wasn't all negative. When I said if I had a magic wand could get rid of all your rider confidence issues, and excuse me, I'll just play my computer there. Could get rid of all your rider confidence issues, and what would you do? Not everybody included negative imagery. It was a Pareto distribution, 80-20. 20% of the answers were glorious. 20% of them were pure positivity, everything that you do want, and they were an absolute joy to read. 20% were at the other end, people being extremely negative, not joining in the game, not really doing anything apart from wanting the attention of sitting on the pity potty. These were answers like, I just want to not be so crap. And attitudes that quite honestly belong on nervous rider pages. Yeah, go on nervous rider pages, you put that there. That attitude isn't welcome on my page. Yeah, think of something else that's a lot more positive of what you do want. But you always get those people on pages like this. And there we are, try and read them out. So 80% though were not the extreme positive, the extreme negative. 80% were half and half, where someone would say, I really want to have this nice time and this nice time, and then they'd trip themselves up saying, without something, something, something. And so that's ended up with this. I've actually I'm such a pedant. I've actually taken the things people have written. Here we are. And I've written them down. Don't criticise my handwriting. So, positive, negative. Look at that. The imagery in the answers of what you would like to do if you were capable of doing anything at all, and it's still got that much negative. You would not believe it. Quite a lot of these are in the same answers. But as I said with my imagery earlier, which I might repeat for the latecomers, I'll just do this. I won't do any of them. Okay. So, in the positive, people answered the following. Galloping with the wind in my hair, beach, sunrise, laughing and singing, bareback and riderless, galloping on the beach, long distance rides through the forest, lunch in the meadows, fun rides, bonding with my daughter and mother bonding sessions, jumping with conviction and determination, being better at everything, jumping, galloping, showing, everything, camps, adventures in the lorry, fun, pleasure rides, canters, jumps, racing, exploring hills, water friends, boxing off to lessons with my favourite instructor, galloping in the sea with friends, achievement, trekking, exploring the UK, watching wildlife. Oh, super, 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 super. Fun, ride, smiles, laughing at bucks and jumps, sightseeing, going with my mood, swimming on my horse, bareback riding. Super, super, super. On the other side, this is what that mental imagery that I got. Now, a lot of these were without, so fair enough. But just as I would like to go riding without the fear of tarantulas dropping on my helmet, falling down the side, grabbing hold of my chin strap and climbing into my mouth. This is the mental imagery that we got on the negative side. I'll hurt the horse, nerves, injury, x-rays. Some people see the little Facebook thing saying leave a comment and think it says leave your stories of disaster, accidents and fears. It doesn't, it just says leave a comment. But anyway, that's besides the way. Being too tense, being frustrated, turning back for home, getting off the horse, hacking with negative thoughts, turning to jelly, being nervous on X-races, the horse hates me, slag myself off, getting brain freeze, being in the fetal position, no confidence to do stuff, struggling, pooing, falling off and dying in the woods. That was quite a good one. Tensing up, falling off, getting off, fighting and falling off, more falls, fear, nerves stopping me, jumping, nerves jumping, doing stupid things, confidence causes accidents, anticipation nerves, not riding on the beach, riding while depressed. All of these mental images that I've just spoke about were included as mental pictures in answer to the question, if I had a magic wand and could make everything super duper, what would you do? Gotta watch out for magic. It's very sneaky stuff. So, the purpose of me coming on today is that the big why are you riding horses, needs to be thought about much better than you do. Not necessarily you, of course you're a big audience. Two of my favourite replies. One, riding on the beach bareback and riderless. I had that about 3 times. Brilliant answer. Absolutely clear what was going on. There we go, that's what you want to do, that's what you could work to. And someone included a photo as well, so that was marvellous. Winning the Silver Spur was a lovely one because it was super, super solid, no messing around. You're either going to do it or you're not. From that goal, you could then break backwards to where you are now, and it's like, first of all we're going to have to learn to canter, then we're going to have to learn to jump, and you can break it into little bite sizes. But if you don't know what you want, there was quite a few, just be better at everything, and I'm afraid Red Pen, see me after school, just vague. If you can't tell me why you want to ride horses, I can't help you get there, either by giving advice through the internet or waving my magic wand. Pa-ding! Just being better at everything is simply too vague. I don't know whether that means you want to plough better, and we look back at the ploughing competition and you've got a perfectly straight furrow and all the other farmers sitting there with their bit of straw out of their mouth and their denim breeches on going, oh, bloody good that was. I don't know. And if you can't explain it to me, chances are you're not explaining it to your own subconscious. So answers are either vague or 80% of the answers were either vague, in which case what are you going to be doing your bite sizes to? Back to the rowing analogy, if you're rowing to New York, then every oar stroke will be your bite size, that little bit just getting there. If you're simply rowing away from Penzance, I just want to row without being in Penzance, your oar strokes are going to stop. Here we are, I've got another one. Not being so tense when competing. Now I've got a picture of someone being tense when they're competing. This is the thing. It's like, how do you want to be when you're competing? There we are. If you haven't got your goals, I think I need to stop the broadcast now because I'm just going over the same thing. I hope you were surprised at how negative the imagery was, albeit unintentional and describing what you don't want. When people apply for my 3-month online mounted division ultimate rider confidence course, it's all about the psychology of riding. I have a phone call just to make sure that we're a good fit. I don't want to be shoehorning people into courses that don't suit them. And the very first question is, at the end of this course, what would you like to be doing? And always, I have to stop people with the withouts, and I would like to be riding without anxiety. And I have to say, well, what do you want? If that anxiety has gone, what's replaced it? So this little comment here, thank you, Michelle, not being so tense when competing. If that tension has gone, what's in that gap? And that is your why as to why you're riding the horse. I feel terrible now that I picked on Michelle, but you just popped up at the wrong time with how you wanted to ride without, so sorry. There we are. Very harsh teacher, I find. Very harsh teacher. So there we go, guys. I don't know what to do. What shall I do you think? Shall I put up the same post again with the magic wand? If I give you a magic wand, what would you want to do? Thing is, this is it. This is the psychology that I understand. I was a hypnotherapist for 20 years, dealing with stress, anxiety and depression. I know that this is what people need to do. They need to have better quality whys. If the why, as I said on the last broadcast, if the why is big, then the how is easy. If the why is big, then the how is easy. But if the why is vague, just want to be happier, just want to be better at everything, then the how is going to be difficult. If the why is consistently images of what you don't want, then the how is going to, how are you going to get to what you do want if you think of it in terms of what you don't want? Anyway, I promised that I'll shut up, so I think I will shut up. Put a comment. Michelle, I'm so sorry about this, Michelle. Thank you very much for joining the conversation. There we are. I deleted my comment as it sounded wrong. Well done. It was picked up in a lesson today whilst having a test video that I was holding my breath. Halfway through I started breathing and enjoyed the rest of the test. So now I've got a double image from that comment, which is, on the one side, I want to ride without holding my breath. On the other side, I want to breathe easily. I know that isn't exactly what you were, but it's just how easy it is to think in terms of what you don't want. And really, we need to focus totally on what we do want. So, yeah, guys, what am I going to do? Am I going to run the same... I can't run the same post again, can I? Can't run the same post again. I also can't answer every person underneath their comments because I'd literally be picking on people. Although I have done that a little bit, I do apologise. I do know what I'm doing. This is important. Remember, this is the first step in my confidence basics. Confidence basics, like the real basics. And the first step Why are you riding horses? And now I'm stuck on the first step because I need to get this through to people. Don't know how I'm gonna. I'm gonna. Lovely. Catch you later, everybody. See you later. I better go now because I'm waffling and repeating myself. Toodaloo.